the story time. So if any of you guys have been watching most of my, aka this one, but recently this phone is broken, so I can't record on my phone. And I've been trying to record on a camera for the longest, so I finally got a camera, and I'm gonna show you guys that in another video. But yeah. Anyways, today is going to be the story time of my fourth job. So if you guys been keeping up, you would know that this is transitioning into a different me. This was my newspaper job. I used to work as a newspaper delivery route driver. So yes, if you guys are wondering who delivers newspapers, that was me at one point. This was 2017. This is before I got my own apartment, like a year before. I loved having that job, the pros and the cons. Now let me tell you guys how it happened. So I found the job online. I found it on Indeed.com, so go on Indeed and find it. It might not be on there anymore, but it was saying a Houston Chronicle delivery driver. So I applied to that, and as soon as I applied, a day later they emailed me back saying to come up there and stuff like that. So after that, that's whenever I was dealing with a crazy situation, you guys. So I went up there with my license. And that's why I was telling you guys in the other video that it's actually good to have your driver's license because it helps if you want certain jobs. And then also I went up there with my insurance and my car shit. So my car information. So boom, that's whenever I got hired. I got hired the same day. They told me to come back tomorrow and they're gonna have somebody training me. So they had somebody training me. You work at a big warehouse, like you go in at any time. They told me you can go in at any time as long as you finish your route by 7 a.m. So that's what I liked about my job too. It was you being an independent contractor. If you don't know what an independent contractor is, it's basically somebody who is basically related to an entrepreneur. So you can go to work whenever you want. You can set the rate. You can set however much money you want when you get jobs done and stuff like that. And then you can leave whenever you want. So, and then also you didn't clock in. So that's how it was for the newspaper delivery place. I did not have to clock in anywhere and I didn't have to clock out. As long as the routes were delivered, then I got paid. And then you also didn't get paid by the hour. You got paid by the days and by how many newspapers you delivered. And if you got any complaints or anything, they deducted $1 from your paycheck. So I used to get a lot of complaints, you guys, because some people's houses I couldn't find. And some people's houses they didn't like because when I did find them, sometimes I would deliver it to them late, like past 5 a.m. So because I can go in at any time. It was an overnight job. I know some of you guys are probably looking at me like, why did you shift from daytime to nighttime jobs? The reason why I did that was, well, no, I'm going to make a separate video for that. At night, it's very fun. I'm an insomniac. I tend to not go to sleep a lot. Like, I tend to be up a lot. And it might be just because I have an anxiety problem, if you guys didn't know that. And I also might be because of my nerves and stuff. And also, I have, a burst of energy. Like, if you guys are any one of my friends, you come chill out with me, you will notice, I always have energy to do anything and everything. Like, I am not a lazy person. I do not sleep all the time. I do not want to sit in the house all day. Like, I'm a different type of person than other people. And that's why a lot of people don't like me, I guess. But yeah, so first I went back there. The second time, I went up there. Some dude was training me and stuff like that. I got it down within the same night. And then I had only trained with him for 2 days. So the first day, he threw all the newspapers, was telling me the ropes and everything. And the second day, I was working with him. I was throwing in the newspapers, and he was just chilling, making sure to tell me what I'm doing wrong and stuff like that. Then the third day, you did it with yourself. So basically, a newspaper job is totally different than what people seem. So when you come in, there's like a table when you first come in. And you have to find your piece of paper. It's like 30 or 50 pieces of paper with their name on it. Basically, is house addresses to throw the newspapers. And then you have certain types of newspapers. There's 3 different or 4 different types of newspapers. They got New York Times. Then they got Houston Chronicle. Then they got some other stuff. So it'll tell you which newspaper to throw and which newspaper to wrap. You also got to wrap your own newspaper, right, you guys? This is the newspaper. So you got to go get baggies, and they come out of your check, too. So there's 3 different color baggies. So you got to go and you got to wrap the newspaper up like this, roll it up in a circle, and then you put that paper around it, this little baggie. And by the way, you have to get your own cart because you can't carry all these newspapers out to your car. You're gonna have to have a cart. So I had to do that. It took you about like 2 hours, depending on how fast you are, how slow you are, wrapping up the stuff, wrapping up all the newspapers. You gotta wrap them a certain way, put them in there, and tie them, and throw them in the cart. And usually you will have like 200 newspapers up to 1,000 newspapers. Like for me, on Sundays I had 1,000 newspapers, but on other days I only had 500 newspapers. So on Sundays, it was a very busy day for me because sometimes I would be in there for 3 or 4 hours just wrapping newspapers. And then sometimes I'll be in there for 2 hours and I'll be real quick. And that's what I liked about being your independent contractor and also working at a newspaper place. You got to bring whoever you wanted with you. So you can bring a coworker, you can bring a friend, you can bring a family, you can bring a significant other, you can bring whoever you want to work with you. And that's what I liked about it so much because I got to bring my friend with me sometimes. So she was like an extra help because she got to help me and like finish stuff quicker than just me using my own hands. So after a while, you guys, I was just like, yeah. So after you do all the newspaper stuff, like I said, it's a warehouse. Basically, the only thing that you guys will see is cubbies. Like you will just see cubby, and basically you all have your own cubby that you go and you wrap your newspapers in, and then you gotta go get a shopping cart, which is in the front when you first come in, and then they do have a back office for the managers, and then they have another place where you go pee and poop and all that stuff, and that's really about it. Everything is very small. Like you really can't sit down in there. You have to stand up the whole time. So, and it didn't have no air conditioning, nothing like that. So when it was cold, it was cold. When it was hot, it was hot. That's all I'm saying. So when I got done, I got to the car. Then you gotta put in all the addresses. Then you gotta find out all the addresses. I was local, so I only did newspapers in the Sugarland area and the Katy area. So I was doing newspaper deliveries a lot, and basically the only downside I didn't like about it, you guys, was you couldn't call off work. That's the number one thing, or else you was fired. And number two, you had to work every single night, so you didn't have an off day. And another good thing I would say about it was you got paid weekly. So sometimes I would get paid 500, and sometimes I get paid 1,000. And you can go and ask them for more routes, and they'll pay you even more. Like some people do more routes than how many routes I was doing. Some people do like 300 routes a night. You know what I'm saying? So that would probably be a lot more money. So people was really making money in there. So I was just like, that's crazy. Most of the people that I was around was old people. It wasn't even young people working there. So I was just shook because I'm like, this is why a lot of people probably don't know about stuff like this because, people my age, they're not applying for jobs like this. They're not thinking about getting a job like this. And it was just, I don't know, it was just crazy to me. It was super easy way to get money. Another con was always being in the car. You're gonna be in the car for about 3 or 4 hours. I got car sick after a while because you gotta, go in circles. You gotta do two. Always make sure to have snacks in my car and water. You gotta think about, your restroom breaks and all that type of stuff. You set your own timing so you can take a break whenever you feel like it too. Usually I smoked cigarettes when I was on the job, so it was lit. Um, so it was bittersweet. I liked it, but I didn't. The main thing I didn't like about it was I had to work every single day, and um, the good thing I liked about it was I could go to work at any time. I could go to work at 10 p.m. I can go to work at 12 a.m. I can go to work at 2 a.m. if I wanted to, and that's what I like about it because it was very flexible, sort of, in a way, and you ain't really have to deal with managers hovering over your back, watching you and stuff, or always constantly talking to you. People really minded their business during this job and stuff like that. It's really, like I said, it was really easy, it's maintainable. Um, there was nothing wrong with it, but the only reason why I lost it was because my friend wrecked my car and I couldn't go to work no more. And you guys will see that in another story time after this, that the friend that wrecked my car. But yeah, so that's the reason why I had to like leave. I had to quit because I didn't have no other vehicle. And for you to be a newspaper delivery person, you had to have a vehicle. So I had to tell them, and they was like, okay, yada yada yada. So boom, that's what happened. Miss it? Not really, but I wish it didn't have to end like that. But at the end of the day, the reason why I probably ended was because I was gonna probably leave anyways. It was a very stressful job at the end of the day, and I had this job while I was working at Dollar Tree and while I was working at Five Below. So if you guys saw them other videos and you heard me say I had like other jobs, this was the other job that I had. I had 3 jobs at one time, and these 3 jobs were the jobs I had at once. Dollar Tree was during the day, Five Below was during the weekends, and my newspaper delivery place was every single day. And it was very easy for me to maintain because they all had different timings. But it's just the principle of like my rest and me having fun in general, and then my off days, like, you know, I didn't have time to chill and reevaluate and think about my life or think about anything in general, because I'm just like, okay, let me get up and go to work. Okay, let me do this, let me do that. You know, I didn't have time to sit here and enjoy my life or myself or my apartments and stuff. So that's the only cons I would say, but other than that, it was okay. So yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.